Okay, everyone, we wanted to take this time to talk about fake frauds and floozies at fashion shows who grew up in trailer park trash. So, we've got a VCon speaker sitting on a bench that looks like it's about to break because she's really heavy. And then a woman sitting next to her who I've seen before, but I have no idea who you are, and I honestly can't remember the heavyset model's name. And the woman's over there leaning in and she's talking like this. Almost like as if she's talking about the intricate details of it's a dumb conversation. Literally boring the hell out of the heavyset model. And then leaning past the heavyset model because the heavyset model isn't very interesting to talk to anyways, even though she was a speaker at VCon. Think about that for a second. And then she's going, oh, yes. Yeah, you can actually kind of hear her speaking. The point of this video is to tell you that you can't fake sophisticated. Watching Mona Van is your example of someone trying to fake sophisticated. Now, we're not looking at your dark side, bitch. We're looking at the fact that we're watching you as observation. To look at you, to tell you that you are not sophisticated. None of you are, actually. Because it's like the model is not sophisticated because these are little 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds who started in the business because for some reason they wanted to be models because they wanted to put clothes on and erotically walk a runway and do it in a way that's really odd and really strange. And then they sell out and only live off the kudos they got from how they look. And then they do these fake smiles like we learned with Adam Levine at the Victoria's Secret fashion runway. Oh, it's Adam Levine. Not sophisticated and extremely childish and very awkward. However, it's the awkwardness and the lack of ability as you as the audience to understand that they're working with devil energy. Because through and through, they're evil as shit. It's a complete joke. They're not intelligent. They're not sophisticated, and you can definitely see that they are none of these things. Yet they keep getting invited to these fashion shows. And then they act as if they're intelligent by talking about their feelings and the sophistication of the lines, and and they have no idea what they're talking about. Anybody been to lunch with somebody like that before? Maybe you had a person you worked with who wanted to tell you about her mother's perspective of meditation and totally disregards the fact that you're a 500-hour educated meditation and yoga professional who used to own a yoga studio. Grace is her name, and she works at Sea Island. That's the modern day youth who don't give a shit to learn anything, which is their version of wearing green makeup and then saying that you just don't want to conform to our ways. You're not open to being told what to do while we try to get you to conform, that we're wearing taped. You're a man and you're wearing, I think you were wearing a yellow wig with no skills of being personable, with no work ethic. You have no ability to be a U.S. citizen, yet you want to tell us how we're supposed to feel about the way you live when you can't even distinguish that yourself. Meanwhile, we have a heavyset model sitting on stage teaching these people on their behavior. But these lowlives are willing to conform to the way they live, while they then try to tell the hardworking middle-class Americans that we're supposed to accept that and be slaves to them. While they pretend to be sophisticated, Well, they call that creative. Well, she then sits on a VCon stage and talks about the 12 and a half emotional ingredients by just regurgitating the information and leaving dead airspace in the room where no one succeeds in any form of inspiration, where you then go on your own platform and tell everyone how you were inspired by your own video, but you never posted it. Where you then show up to the New York Fashion Week with no fashion sense, even the weirdest clothing with the right person in it. It's not the clothes, it's the person who wears it, and then it is the clothes. So you're watching a bunch of disrespectful buffoons looking for attention in the audience, competing with low-class trailer park women who just so happen to be born looking like unattractive aliens, who then get involved in a business where they just work with the devil and demons, where men tell them how pretty they are constantly, where they've never had to lift a finger their entire life. They just showed their boobs off and said, "Oh, I'm skinny, I don't eat." Then they make themselves the victim, and now they're sitting on stages trying to teach us about the 12 and a half emotional ingredients. Like, are you kidding me right now? The conversation is the focus of this conversation, by the way. You can't fake sophisticated. And you don't want to fake sophisticated when you're around someone who's actually sophisticated. That's when you shut your mouth. And you don't mimic a sophisticated person. You learn from a sophisticated person. You learn how to be sophisticated so that you can respect your customer. Do you understand the bypass of what Hollywood has done, as none of them graduated from high school? None of them have a college degree. And they all are trying to build a platform off the fact that none of them have an education. While they pretend to be sophisticated, while they erotically hold an ice cream while their nipples are hard. Thanks for the hard nipple, Mona, that makes us all want to puke. Have you ever seen a Barbie or a woman whose boobs are fake and her nipples like poke in? Did the implant go in under boob, or is the nipple the place where the implant went in? Tell us, Mona Vand. So while they all act as if we as middle class are putting so much pressure on them to look a certain way, to act a certain way, they do no effort and no work. They don't go to the gym. They don't eat healthy. They don't think clearly. They go to fake therapists. They take medicine of up the wazoo. They lie to your face. They don't have any real talent. They look for a man to give them a diamond ring. They look for clothes, hair, and makeup. They never have any desire to have a passion around anything except for seduction. And they think that's sophisticated. Go take a look at Charli D'Amelio. That's her version of sophistication. And every year it gets dumbed down to less sophistication. While they make fun of conservatives, which it's necessary to have a quantity of conservative people, so we don't end up with people like Mona Vand. Or things like Paris Hilton, or things like Katy Perry. Do you know that everyone looked at you like you were fucking gross as shit, and all they did was show Taylor Swift laughing about it? Do you know how disrespectful that is, Taylor Swift? Or do you even care? See, she tried to uplift the audience with her performance. However, everybody puked on themselves when they saw that shit. The hide and the hidden is that Taylor Swift tried to uplift you while you watched it. Do you understand their strategy yet? That's the Democrat liberal. That's the democracy that's at stake, because in 5 to 10 years, there will be no clothing on, and it'll be a man and a woman, and they'll be on stage gyrating, and they'll be actually doing it. And then Taylor Swift will be the girl, and Post Malone will be the guy, and they'll be actually screwing each other on stage, and they'll say, "High five." while the audience is appalled and they'll still be talking in the same way they're talking because you live in fucking delusion.